Good evening. Welcome to Grandma's Attic Music Review. What a joy it is to be with you guys tonight. Yay! So before I get silly and giddy, let me tell you that this show is dedicated to DJ Action Jackson from WCNI. We lost him this past week, and I want to dedicate this show to him. But now on the happy side, we have such a great guest tonight. So, hearing of this woman and seeing tales of this woman on Facebook and hearing of her voice and blah, 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 I never got to meet her until we did the Shelter from the Storm show back in February. And then I confused her name with somebody else who has the same first Anna Marie name, and they both have different last names, but anyway, so I introduced her from the stage as the MC, as the wrong whole total person. And what an idiot I felt like. But we got to talk, we figured it all out. I found out why she's so famous, because she's such an amazing, amazing singer-songwriter. And she has brought her friend with her today. They're going to entertain you, and I think you're going to be overjoyed that I got to bring her to the Grandma's Attic Music Review. Please welcome into your heart and into your home, Anna Marie Menta and Armand Morgan.
Thank you, Dot. All right. Long ago and far away, oh, I dreamed there might be a better day, when life was sweet and he loved me, and we placed our bets on eternity, eternity. Then I grew up and life was life, and I've never been anyone's mom. Oh, I had a love that belonged to me, but we never spoke of eternity, eternity. Oh, he'd keep his lips upon my lips, and I felt his touch down to my fingertips, even when he knew what I would say. Oh, he'd love to hear it anyway. Oh, he'd keep his lips upon my lips, and I felt his touch down to my fingertips, even when he knew what I would say. Oh, he'd love to hear it anyway. So I close my eyes and fall asleep, and wake to find he's not next to me. So I start my life on a brand new day, but I still look back to my yesterday, yesterday. Long ago and far away, oh, I dreamed there might better day. Long ago and far away. Oh, I dreamed there might be a better day. Better day long ago. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're so happy to be here. We had that long ride on 95, but we made it without any adverse effects. This song, the next one we're going to do is a song that came off my, I think it was my second or third record, and it was inspired by seeing a poet named Donald Hall do a poetry reading in New Haven, and the thing was, I had admired him for a long time as an old English major. Old English majors, they don't write novels, they turn into songwriters. This is what I found. I just admired him so much. And when I saw him play, I'd been reading his stuff for many years, and he's like in his 80s, and it just knocked me out, what he was able to do. So he doesn't get mentioned in the song till a little bit later on, but when you hear me talking about a poet and what he did, that's Donald Hall. And the song is kind of dedicated to him and also all of us or any of us who maybe have a 9-to-5 job that really doesn't have anything to do with who we are. And so this song is for all the artists and writers and musicians who feel that way. But there's guys like Donald who are inspirational. So anyhow, that's what it's all about. The alarm rings out loud, try to ignore it. I hit the snooze, no rise and shine. Fill up the cat bowl, then close the window, and I catch the bus in record time. Surely there must have been, not so long ago, something else I had in mind. I hoped exactly, it's hard to remember, but so important and so fine. I'd figure out all the complications, and I'd find my place in time. Surely there must have been, not so long ago, something else I had in mind. The front door, I leave myself behind. I saw an old poet on stage reading. He was a favorite of mine. Behind his glasses and his long white hair, his eyes still shine. Never left himself behind. Surely there must have been, not so long ago, something else I had in mind. When I leave and lock the front door, I leave myself behind. He read some old words, he read some new lines. They really cut me down to size. Behind my own tears, there was my big shame, the way I left myself behind. Surely there must have been, not so long ago, something else I had in mind. When I leave and lock the front door, when I leave and lock the front door, when I leave and lock the front door, I leave myself Thank you so much. And thank you, Donald Hall. One thing in the key of F sharp, if anyone's counting. Yeah, so thank you so much. Now this next one is from my record, which I call my pandemic record, which was now quite a while ago, the Sky Tonight album, and this one's called One Thing or Another. Yeah, it's always nice when you have the capo in the right position for the guitarist, so he doesn't start looking at you like, what key is she playing in? Yeah, so, and just note to self, pandemic is not a good time to promote a new record, so I found out. And so many musicians found out because we couldn't go anywhere to play. So, but anyhow, record came out anyhow. And here we are, One Thing or Another. Exercise, you call your mother, you know the good cards from the other. You eat right most every night. You separate the kinds of trash, you sort the paper from the plastic. You do okay most every day. But if it's not one thing, then it's another. Late on your bills, losing your lover. The car you drive, it's your old friend. It knows your stops, your wheres and whens. It gets you there and back again. Here on the street, you live with him. You tell yourself it's just a win. You won't go this way, not another day. 'Cause if it's not one thing, then it's another. Late on your bills, losing your lover. Your friends don't call you. They think you're private, and you don't call them. You just don't feel like it. You don't have a clue what your life is. All you know is it'll never be his. Friday night, the worst of ponder with all that time you had to think and Cause if it's not one thing, then it's another. Late on your bills, losing your lover. Your friends don't call you. They think you're private, and you don't call them. You just don't feel like it. Yeah, if it's not one thing, then it's another. If it's not one thing, it's not one, it's another. Thank you so much. This song's about growing up a little bit, growing up in the neighborhood. was born in New Haven, Connecticut, but I grew up in Hamden mostly. So here we go. It's one of those capo tricks. The guitar player, he chose to tell me I was in the wrong capo only when I started the song. There we go, key of C. That's the people's key. It's a key you should never mess up. There we go. That sounds better. Here we go. I never knew you walked the same streets as me, along the same sidewalks where I used to be. And when the sun poured down through those maple trees, and when the rain fell down on you, well, it fell on me. It fell on me. The wind blew the schoolyard leaves, and the lake was frozen over, and the blacktop driveway steamed, and the mothers called for supper. That's where I grew, right next to you, underneath the same summer sky in the winter moonlight. I never knew you walked the same streets as me, along the same sidewalks where I used to be. And when the sun poured down through those maple trees, and when the rain fell down on you, well, it fell on me. It fell on me. I never noticed you, you never noticed me. 5 blocks from home back then was another world to me. And so I grew right next to you, underneath the same summer sky in winter. I never knew. I never knew. I never knew. I never Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. We're going to do a new one for you here that hasn't been recorded yet, but we hope to be doing that sometime this spring. That will be different than today. And let's see. I think the inspiration for this song is just what if we, especially right now we're having tough times. What if you did wake up one day and you just said, it's okay. It's going to be okay. Well, let's see what happens. if I woke up, then I walked outside, said that I was okay? What if I touch the sky, feel ground beneath my feet as I make my way? That would be different than today. Ah, so different than today. If I forget myself, listen to someone else, find a kind word to say. Whether it's a broken heart or a brand new start, second chances are made. When I find the time to leave me behind, help somebody else on their way, that would be different than today. Ah, so different than today. Beg, steal, or borrow, I'll set aside my sorrow, come what may. I can lose my blues, stand in a stranger's shoes, feel their heartbeat all day. When I find the time to leave me behind, help somebody else on their way, that would be different than today. When I find the time to leave me behind, help somebody else on their way, that would be different than, different than, different than today. That would be different than, different than, different than today. Ah, today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, folks. Folks at home, I can hear you clapping. It's great. I hope you're enjoying the show. We're very happy to be here on Grandma's Attic, and thank Dot and all the crew here for making us feel welcome. And I'm going to tell you about this song. I'm not a big believer always in dreams, but I know a lot of people are. So I had a dream one night, and then the next night I had it again. Next night I had it again. And about the third night I said, I think maybe I should write something down, perhaps. So I'm not going to tell you who it was about. You'll get it in about 2 seconds when I start up. And this song came out as a single this year. It's not on any album yet, but it came out, and you can find me on all those places where you would expect to find me. Dear John Lennon, last night I met you, shared conversation in my dreams again. I wasn't a starstruck schoolgirl, I was me now, just as I am, and you were you. 1980, before you were taken right out of our hands. We were walking, yeah, we were talking, we were walking, just like friends. I showed you the places I remember from my life way back when. You said some may change, but not for better. Some will be gone, some remain. I asked to touch the tips of your fingers, oh so worn from all the years you played. If only we could break out an old tune. You smiled, sorry love, must be on my way. So I turned my collar up, you pulled your cap down, so ready to meet the wind and rain. We stood there, fondly bid farewell, hoping our paths would cross again. Oh, last night I met you, shared conversation in my dreams again. We were walking, yeah, we were talking, we were walking, just like friends. Yeah, we were walking, just like friends. Ooh, 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 Yeah, this song's about driving around all those lonely Connecticut roads, and not always the best time to evaluate your life situation when you're alone in a car, feeling a little lonely, and got a long road ahead. But that's what happened with this song. Driving through my past on these long and unlit roads. Every curve brings back worlds gone by, places we used to go, roadside bars and old shacks, few remain, most are gone. Every memory found leaves another forgotten unknown. Driving through my past, my high beams hit the road of the passing lane and the cars of nobody I know. The white lines curve, keeping my eyes in tow. I don't know where I'm going, but I got to find my home. With every mile that passes, every wheel as it rolls, like I'm leaving our love on the side of the road. the markers count the miles as we made our way home. I can still hear our voices laughing in the dark front seat when the night kept rolling on. With every mile that passes, every wheel as it rolls, it's like I'm leaving our love on the side of the road. Yeah, with every mile that passes, every wheel as it rolls, it's like I'm leaving our love on the side of the road. Yeah, like I'm leaving our love on the side of the road.
So while Armand and Anne-Marie are getting over here and miking up, can I remind you some things? Number one, they said they canceled Sailfest, but there's still going to be fireworks, and there's still going to be activities downtown. So I don't know. I can't speak for our mayor, but I'm not going to even. Please go out and celebrate your neighborhood. Let's just keep our communities alive. Let's think of what's going on in our neighborhood. Let's think about what's going on around us. Never mind all that other stuff. It's not even worth engaging about. Let's just think about the good stuff right in our neighborhood. Let's take care of each other, okay? Let's talk. Hi! I'm going to turn my chair a little bit. Welcome to Grandma's Attic.
Thank you.
So much.
Oh my goodness. So, mics.
Oh, you're not?
They're behind you.
Oh,
Huh, we got no mics on. Yeah, yours is right on your chair. It's a little tiny thing. You just stick it on your little thing there.
Okay. We didn't know.
All right. Yeah, I guess we missed telling you about that, right? Are you all? We're all plugged in. So
Thanks for having us.
usually you travel in a trio. Is that normal that you travel in a trio?
Trio, solo, trio, duo.
Solo, trio, duo.
Yeah, it could be any of those things.
And I'm not going to ask you which is your favorite way to travel, but do you have a favorite way?
I like when I have the other two guys playing with me. It's less lonely.
Less
It's more
lonely.
Fun. It's more fun. A lot more music happening.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to go wherever.
So may I assume that you write all the songs?
I do.
Woohoo! When was the first song that you wrote that you realized that this was something you wanted to do for the rest of your life?
Oh my goodness. Well, it probably was junior high or high school.
Really? Were you writing poetry before that?
I was doing a little bit of that, and then I had a really nice English teacher who, was correcting all those teenage angst poems that,
I know about those.
you know about those. And then she said, she was actually somebody who ran the folk music club. high school.
Ah, we
And,
didn't have a folk music club.
It was a while back, but she, I was putting poems to music that weren't mine, and then she actually said, well, some of this stuff, why don't you do that? It's not that it hadn't occurred to me, but it was really nice to have someone say that. So
To put your poems
Yeah.
to your music.
Right.
You were taking your music and putting it to other people's
yeah,
poems.
a little bit, yeah. And then I was admiring all the songwriters, and so that was the little push I needed, I guess.
So you already had music in your life. Talk a little bit about your upbringing with music, and then we're going to talk a little bit to Armand about that too.
Okay.
But what happened with you musically with your family?
Right. Well, I come from a family of three brothers, and they all got into music. My older brother was going to college in New York City and was bringing back all these fantastic records. And
Like what? Like what?
you know, Bob Dylan. It was also the
Well,
Beatles. You know, Beatles
yeah,
were
yeah,
my
yeah,
heroes.
yeah.
But I liked all kinds of music, folk music, rock music. You know, that was great. And so then my next brother, John, started to play guitar in the house. And once he did that, I said,
You were
I
hooked.
want to do that. Yeah. So that's how it started. Really.
What
with
did your
things.
parents think of that?
They were okay. I mean, I don't, you know, they were accepting of it, I guess. But yeah, they didn't think we'd continue it on into our adulthood, which we all did. I'm sure they thought it
Right.
was just a thing.
And you have a brother that's gained a little notoriety in Connecticut,
Right. And
at least.
That's Peter Menta, and he's in Washboard Slim in the Blue Lights. And he's my big brother, and he was, he's the one who first started bringing the music back into the house.
Right,
So,
right. Armand,
good
when
blame
did
him.
you start playing music?
Well, elementary school, but I started off as a drummer.
Really?
And my apologies
Oh.
to all the drummers. That was terrible. And then I switched to French horn.
How was that? That was
great.
fun, right?
That was great.
I
But-
admire the French horn from my seat when I go see the symphony of the French horn.
me
It's
too.
fun
And
to watch.
I still do. But you know, one day I was in the neighborhood, and I was at a friend's house who was learning to play guitar, and I was just, you know, C, A minor, F, and G chords, and I was like knocked out. And I stopped playing French horn, put all my attention on guitar. So.
Can you, excuse me, I'm sorry. Can you still go back and play a little beat on the drum, and can you still pick up your horn?
Well, I no longer have the horn, so
Okay.
I have no idea. And for the horn players out there, you know, you have to keep your embouchure going, and so I don't know what would happen if I picked up a horn today. Drums, sometimes in a band, I'll sit on the drums and play a little tiny bit until they kick me off.
Until so it sounds like the two of you, I can see that the two of you have fun playing together. And I'm sorry that your third isn't here. Anna Marie, how many albums do you have out at this point? And I know you tried to put one out during pandemic, and that didn't go out so well because
Well, it was done.
nobody's did.
Yeah, nobody's did, right. But it's still a nice record. I have 4 records. and
Okay.
I'm hoping to be working on a 5th pretty soon.
Okay, so where can people find those records? And can they find CDs, vinyl, or MP3s, or
Yeah.
just streaming? What's
yeah,
the whole
I don't have
gamut?
vinyl. I don't
no
have
vinyl
but,
yet.
yeah,
You
can-
notice how I just
yeah.
pushed that out at you.
Vinyl's very expensive to record now, but
People want it though.
yeah. You can find all 4 records on all the streaming services. You know,
All of them.
all of them. Yep. And you can also go to my website, annemariementa.com, and you can download stuff there. You could even put an order in for a hardcover CD if you wanted to. On there.
Nice.
And you can also order the MP3s individually, or you know, the whole thing. So you can do all of that stuff. So I still carry the CDs around with me because you never know. There's someone around there who still has a CD player in their car, and like me, and there you go. And so yeah, you can get them. You can get them that way. Yeah.
I find it the best place to listen. People send me music all the time, you know, and they want, you know what they want. But I find that the best place for me to focus on listening to people's music, especially if I've never heard it before,
Right.
is in my car.
Car's great for that. Yeah.
It is, because you can watch the road
Yeah.
and hear,
Right.
right?
Well, I
and
mean, you can do
absorb what
streaming
that
in your
is.
car too if you have a modern car, but I don't. I have an old Subaru. I have an old Subaru, so I just pop the
I have
CDs.
an old Jeep, so
Right,
yeah.
right.
No, it's not
Yeah.
happening.
So yeah, it's on Spotify. It's on all of those places. Yeah.
So I saw you for the very first time in the concert Shelter from the Storm.
Yeah.
And what a
What a great night, yeah.
What a night. I haven't been involved in a night that was that full of charitable feels and charitable feel-goods
Yeah.
as that night.
That was
Do you
great.
agree with me?
Yeah.
What an overwhelmingly amazing night.
Yeah.
The theater was packed, and sitting 300, standing 400,
Right.
it was packed.
It really was.
And every single musician brought their full core, amazing, their music And then everybody sang a Bob Dylan song.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
And it was incredible. And I got to see you. And I was like, now I know what the buzz is all about. You really have a stage presence and a voice that conjures up feels. And I love that. So you did a song tonight that I'm still thinking about. When you walk out the door, you leave yourself behind.
Right. Front door, it's called.
When you walk out your front door, you leave yourself behind. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
And
I'm so glad.
I think that you have that song written towards people that do a job that they're not really a part of. Like their soul isn't the mechanic working on the car or the factory worker making buttons or whatever.
Yeah.
I find my Facebook post from this morning because I wrote about if I die tomorrow, if I die suddenly, this
dear.
is my song. And this is me. You guys don't know me. I love you all very much, but none of you know who I am. Because everybody knows Grandma.
Right.
When I walk out the door, I'm Grandma.
Right.
You know, nobody knows Dot. So I grabbed that song. I think I
great.
have to go buy it off your thing and put
great.
it on a CD. Is it on a CD?
It is, and I just happened to bring some today. So if you want,
Yay!
if you want any disc that you want,
that
you can
one, that one. I want that one. So, how did you meet your musicians? How did you meet Armand?
Well, we were talking about our childhoods. The thing is, my brother John, who was the guitarist who kind of taught me and stuff,
Yep.
he and Armand got in a band together.
Really?
So yes, so that's how we met.
In New Haven.
In Hamden, we were in
In
Hamden, at
Hamden.
the time. Yeah, and they
What
were,
was the name of the band?
Oh God, what was that? Well, we played in a band called the Blake Street Gut Band, and that was out of New Haven, and we played in that band for years out of New Haven. So
And
I got to be very
what kind
close.
of music did you play?
We played rhythm and blues, some originals.
John was a songwriter too. My brother John. Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah, yeah.
And that's how I met Anne Marie, was being at the Menta household,
Right.
Yep.
and which was a great congregation place. It was like lots of people went there, and there was a lot of people, friends and families.
There's always
showed
that
up,
one
so.
house in the
That's
hood.
the house. Yeah.
There
and
is. There's always that one house in the hood, right?
the house where all the bands practiced. That was my house. Yeah.
Right, right, right. All the bands practice, all the kids hung out, and the mom and dad are like, this
In the
is
background,
cool.
they're in the
Just,
background.
this is cool. Just do what
Yeah,
you're supposed
exactly.
to do. We're just going to be out in the kitchen. We're all good, yeah. I
So
understand that.
yeah. So years later, when I was doing my first record, I got Armand to play with me, and also the guy that didn't make it here today, Dan Martin, on bass, and we made our first album, and that was so much fun. And then, we made two records. We made two
Who
records.
recorded that with you?
The
Who-
first
for you.
Yeah, Vic Steffens over in West Haven.
Okay.
Yeah, Horizon Music Group, great place. And so, fast forward, and then I've played in various things for many years. Country bands. I played in my brother John's rock
I catch
band.
that country vibe in there.
And then when I was coming up on the 25th anniversary of my first record being released.
You are way not old enough to have a 25th anniversary of a first record.
Yes, that was just a year or two ago.
What were you, 2 years old when you put out your first record?
So
Come
I
on.
asked Armand and Dan to help me recreate the first two records. So I did kind of selections, and I had all kinds of musicians playing there, all people who I've played with over the years.
Yep.
And
How much fun was
It
that?
was fantastic. And then from that point on, we decided we were going to keep playing together again. And Dan was the bass player who was not here. So now the three of us, have been playing, and we're planning to make a record together. We've recorded a couple of tunes so far as
Nice.
Singles.
And
but, yeah.
are you recording in the same place, or where are you recording now?
We were recording recently. We've recorded at Steve Rogers' studio, Tiny Bunker.
Hi, Steve. We
Yeah,
love you.
We love Steve.
We love you. It's Steve.
Yeah.
He's doing some great stuff. Ira's doing some great stuff.
Yeah.
Just so many people doing so many great things with their studios right now.
So we recorded that Dear John Lennon song there.
I like that song
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I like that song.
So we want to go back. And we also recorded a song that's on a tribute album for James Velvet. Did you know James Velvet, New Haven musician? He passed away a number of years ago. And there's a tribute album coming out for him.
Oh, nice.
And we're playing one of his cuts on that, and we recorded that at Steve's.
I love tribute albums that honor hometown heroes. It's
so there's going to
fun.
be a bunch of New Haven musicians on that record, and they're having a release show for that too.
So tell me, if you are going to write a song, does it come in your head? Does the tune comes first? Do the words come first? Do you sit down and make yourself write? What's your writing style?
You know what? It's different almost every single time. When I was younger, it was always usually music first, and then the words. You know, and I was very precious about it then. Like, I would never change anything. Like, that's it. That's inspiration, right? But now I work a lot harder. I do a lot of rewriting. And so now it's a combination. I could have a lyrical idea. I could have, you know, it's different all the time.
Do you ever have that song just come in and go out? Like, it's there, and now it's on paper, and we play it.
Quick, but not that quick, yeah. It's usually harder work than that. But the initial idea might come quick.
Right.
Or the tune, yeah.
Armand, have you written any songs?
A few.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like this, but.
Oh, what does that mean? Everybody's artistry is amazing.
Okay. Well, I've written a few songs.
We're all creative. We're all born to be creative. And if you don't think you're creative, I'll give you a book.
Okay.
It's called the Psychology of Creativity.
Okay.
And it teaches us that we're all creative. So we are. And everything we create is real and good for us. So we have like 2 minutes. If you could set up your scenario, your stage, your audience, your pay, and your place it's going to be, where would that be and what would it be?
I don't know, but we have a really great gig coming up.
We'll talk about that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Any listening room
Where
people are sitting there paying attention, and the pay really doesn't even enter into it.
Does it? See, so many really great musicians really don't care about the money. And that's a good thing. So there's a really awesome coming up. Is that the 12th or the
13th?
13th
13th of April.
of April. And go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's a show that's going to be at Lyric Hall in Westville in New Haven, which is in Whaley Avenue.
And that's a Better Beast production.
Bigger Beast
Bigger
production.
Beast production.
Yep, Frank Vieli and company. And it's a series in the newly restored Lyric Hall, which is a theater from around 1910.
Right.
People know it as a antique store, but he has renovated the theater in there, and it's really like nothing I've ever
I
seen.
know, I can't wait to see it.
The opening show was Steve Rogers a few
Right.
months back, and it was great. And so this is the third show in the series, and I'm going to have the full band that I mentioned, plus a couple of other folks. My friend Cadence Carroll is going to sing harmony with us and play a little percussion. And it's going to be April 13th at 4 p.m. at Lyric Hall.
And the thing is, you got to get tickets
In
now.
advance,
Is
yeah.
there a website for that?
There is. You can go to Lyric Hall's own website, or you can go to my Facebook page, or my Instagram page, or my website, and there will, in all those places, there's a link to buy the tickets in advance, because we're expecting.
Pushing.
Yeah, we're expecting to sell out because
Right.
it's a small.
Small venue.
It's a small venue. I don't know.
Oh, don't forget to
Ah,
unclip them. I
okay.
would have told them.
Thought he
Anyway,
was telling you.
it is a fairly small
Beautiful,
venue.
beautiful place.
It is a beautiful place. The acoustics are phenomenal,
And it's an
from what I hear.
afternoon show too.
So
4
not
p.m.
only can you go out and see the show at 4 o'clock, when it's over, you can go to another show.
Exactly.
So,
And
or you can go out and party with the musicians, and that's a lot of fun.
It's a beautiful, beautiful theater. You really have to see it.
I can't wait. I am so grateful that you came. I would love to get a copy of the Out Your Front Door song.
Yeah.
I'll play it on my radio show. I will.
Okay, that'd
And
be
we're
great.
going to have you come and do that too, but we'll talk about that
Yeah,
after
yeah.
the show. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you,
to
Dot.
Grandma's
Thank you.
Attic. It's so much fun to have you here, and I'll ever be the one that stumbles over the fact that I introduced you as someone you're not. I found those two names though.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Oh my gosh, they're exactly the same except for the last name. Exactly. So anyway, will you take us out with a song?
Yes,
Both of
certainly.
you, thank you so much
Yes,
for being here.
yes.
And while they're getting up and getting the instruments, don't forget your unsnap your mic. I'm going to turn around and talk to you. So, spring is here. Things are starting to get active. There's dirt bikes all over the place. Please be careful of these crazy dirt bikers that are out there wreaking havoc. We can't stop them, but we can keep ourselves safe. Also, the Guard Arts Center has so much going on in it right now, and hopefully by next week I'll be able to tell you about an upcoming show in June. And when I do that, we'll be really excited. You've seen the person that's gonna, hopefully everything goes in the right direction. I'll tell you about that next week. And you know, you can go to Grandma's Attic Music Review on YouTube and see all this stuff. And I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for continuously supporting the Grandma's Attic Music Review and our local musicians from all over the world. We love you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Well, we're going to do one more tune. Then, and because I was telling Dot a little bit about my family musical background, I thought I would close with a instead of a rocker, kind of a medium tempo song, which is very much autobiographical. A lot of things that we write about are not, you know, but this particular one happens to be. So I thought I would do that one, close with it. And you heard me mention, I think, in the interview that I had a brother named John who was a guitarist. So this song is called Johnny and John. Just wanted to be in tune for him. He's no longer with us, but he was a great influence on me and also actually a good friend of Armand's. So. There's only one girl in a trio of boys, fought for my place, hard being heard through the noise. But something called me to make my own choice. I took it all in, trying to find my own voice. Johnny had heart, this champion of mine, a writer, a dreamer with music on his mind. My brother had music on his mind. So I snuck up to his room when he was away, picked up his guitar, learned how to play. To my great surprise, when my secret was known, he laughed, "You gotta get a guitar of your own. When I buy my new one," he said with great pride, "this one will be yours, this one of mine, this one of mine will be yours." Oh, Johnny was a brother who was one of a kind, loved to share a laugh or a walk side by side. Music was the life of our hearts and our minds. Johnny was a brother who was one of a kind. When I wasn't looking, life moved along. I couldn't believe it, my brother was gone. When I wasn't looking, my brother was gone. And one night I played in a church basement hall. The open mic crowd was less than enthralled. A guy in the back said, "Hey, I like your tunes. I thought his were the best in the room." A kinship was born right there on the spot. this champion of mine, a writer, a dreamer, with music on his mind. Young man with music on his mind. Oh, Johnny and John never met in their lives, never shared a laugh or a walk side by side, only crossed paths in my heart and my mind. Johnny and John never met in their lives, only crossed paths in my heart and my mind. Johnny and John never met in their lives. They never met in their lives. Thank you very much.